Hi, everyone. Do you sometimes tense up or freeze when you're talking to industry professionals like agents and editors about your work and about what you write? If so, this week I got you. Welcome to Weekly Affirmations for Creatives, week 25. I'm Michelle Tracy Berger, and every week I offer an affirmation to help us become more mindful about our inner game, what we say to ourselves, how we say certain things to ourselves. Remember, the only thing that you can control is what you say to yourself and others, what you do in the world, and what you think. So let's get into it. Many writers at some point in their career encounter industry professionals, agents and editors, and they get asked, what do you do? What do you write? And for a lot of folks, this causes incredible anxiety, tension, even if they're feeling prepared. And this is just part of what we do. And if you are a creative professional in another arena, then you can adapt this, right? So if you're an artist, you at some point will have to talk to a store owner about showing your art there, or a gallery owner. So we all have moments where we talk to industry professionals. How do we feel about that? Are we prepared? Are we confident? This week's affirmation gets at that. So I'll say the affirmation 3 times, and then I will say a couple of words about how we can enact this affirmation. I speak with clarity and confidence about my work to editors and agents. I speak with clarity and confidence about my work to editors and agents. I speak with clarity and confidence about my work to editors and agents. I love this affirmation. It really allows us to center ourselves, to think about how we want to lead with the conversation we're going to have with an editor or an agent. And those two main words, clarity and confidence. So, clarity, we have to have some prior understanding of how we think about our work. And then we have to enact that with a degree of confidence. And it's not like, again, we don't have to be perfect, right? Agents and editors, they're not perfect people. They are people who are just really listening in informal situations to writers about how they talk about their work. And they're listening for ways that they can be helpful. They're listening for ways that they might find someone that they really want to know more about their work in a, like, send me your chapter in a synopsis, right? If you're working on a novel. So for our preparation, writers think ahead of time about how they represent themselves. And one of the easiest ways to do this is thinking about what genre do you write in and what are you working on, and communicating that in a quick, clear, interesting way. There's lots of resources online. I'm just going to give you some examples from my own work. So sometimes when I meet people, when I meet an industry professional and they ask me what I'm working on or what I write, I say, I write across the speculative fiction universe. Mostly everything I write has a twinge of psychological horror. And I have a novella called Renew You that asks the question, what if a trip to the salon could kill you? It's a sci-fi thriller that involves a virus being transmitted in an everyday hair care product. And sometimes I will say more after that. What you're looking for in that initial log line, or kind of talking just more generally about your work, you just want someone to lean in and say, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. And if you noticed, I said the speculative fiction universe, which I didn't say fantasy, sci-fi, horror, because the person I'm talking to would probably know that. But I did give some more specificity about psychological horror. A log line is usually a one sentence summary of, like, your work is like this meets this. And there's a lot of great resources online to look at how to do a log line. But really, it's just thinking, how can you get some quick information to the person who is listening to you that gives them a sense of what you do. A log line for my work, Nucia, which is in my short story collection, it basically, I like to say, it's E.T. meets Fatal Attraction. 12-year-old Lindsay wants to get a friend, and her family is gets to host an alien or extraterrestrial as part of a diplomatic mission. She wants to get a best friend, but it goes awry really quickly. It's set in the 1990s, and it's also set in the Bronx. So that's not a perfect log line the way I just delivered it, but gives you a sense of how to do it. Getting back to our affirmation, I really think if you struggle with those face-to-face interactions, this affirmation can be so, so helpful, especially if you do mirror work. And I don't think I've mentioned that as part of a practice. So obviously with affirmations, you can write them, you can speak them aloud, you can say them in your mind. Repetition is really helpful. But mirror work for this one, I think, can be really, really powerful. So you actually go to the mirror and you say your affirmation, and you just kind of see how it lands in your body, right? So I speak with clarity and confidence about my work to editors and agents. You say that, and you really, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you are gauging your comfort level, you're gauging how you say it, you're getting kind of instant feedback about how this really lands for you. Highly recommend that for this one. And I really hope that you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you have a log line in the comments. Please share your log line. Let me know how you're feeling about your face-to-face interactions that you have done, or that you might have some coming up. Please like this video if it's been helpful. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you've just landed here. I post a practice every week for an affirmation and also have other ways to help creatives. Thanks so much. Stay inspired, and I'll see you next time.